Hi, beautiful ladies. There's something I wake up to this morning because I've been getting this report in my DM. And if you look at it, most of the time I don't reply you because it's so annoying. Now, I want to tell you something, that particular thing that you should never do for any man, no matter how much you love them, because most of you are so weak in love, no matter how much you love a man. This particular one thing, don't try it. If you try it, you can see this my belt. You come to my DM, this is what I will use for you. You can see this. And what is that thing? As a woman, don't ever pause your life for a man, for his own life to be moving. What do I mean? I've seen cases whereby girlfriends will take their school fees, give it to their boyfriend who is struggling with business or finances. Say, baby, take my school fees. Go and do your business. And you will sit at home. And your family will think that you are in school, but you are in one man's house, pushing him to success while reducing your own success backward. You're sending your success back and pushing another man forward. Most of you are not doing anything today because the guy said, I like my woman to stay at home. I like my woman to be indoors. If she go out, she's going to cheat. So the man is working. His life is going on. You are sitting there waiting for a man, a matured man, a man who has turned 45 years, a man who is 50, a man whose grave a man who is getting closer to his grave already. And your own life, you that is 25, you are 30, you are sitting down for a man to be moving ahead. If you try it, I will swear for you. Have you not heard that men will leave you in a desert without water? I tell ladies, don't ever believe or trust the loyalty of a poor man. When he sees money, he's going to leave you. There is an attitude, there is a default character that is with poor people. They have one character. When money comes, because they have not seen good money before, when money comes, it's a different ballgame. I hear a lot of ladies come to my DM. Oh, I was struggling with him. I was helping him. I did this for him. I did this for that. So when he saw money, he left me. My sister, bring such story to me. Bring that kind of story to me. That story, bring it to me. Come and tell me on my DM. I will wipe this on your forehead. You can never be that stupid. Don't ever pause your life for anybody, even if he is your husband. If there is anything that will push life together, let it be both of us. If it is not profiting you, don't do it. Oh, I love him so much. I want him to make money. I want him to do this thing. As far as you are pushing him, let that thing be pushing you. If the thing is not pushing both people together, my sister, it's not worth it. You will run at last at the end. You will cry, I die no at the end. I'm telling you today, anything I tell you comes to pass. By God's grace, I'm an expert in this field. You are doing your best. You are making sure he's making money. And you yourself, you are not making money. I've said it before. Our money, my boyfriend is rich, my husband is rich. Our money is different from my money. There is nothing as sweeter as your own money, my sister. No matter how much you love a man, even if your husband is at home, he's saying, oh, you should be babysitting. Sit down at home, and let me do the working. And you are home. If he doesn't give you money, you will not eat. If he doesn't give you money, you can't buy sanitary pad. His life is going ahead. Your life is stagnant. You are in a stagnant, your life is sitting in one place, rotating in one room, and you are hoping on him. When he eventually gets money, he will see another girl that is more beautiful than you, and he will leave you. And the next place you will run to is Desi's DM to say, help you to do what? I will swear for you. In fact, I'm telling even your own, the only person you should do that thing for is your child. Even while you are doing it for your child, make sure it is sure, because some children will make money and they'll forget their parents. Make sure your life comes first. Your own life, let it be the first as a woman. Making money on time is the biggest gift you give to yourself, my sister. Making money on time. Making money on time. See, you are 40, you are 30 as a girl. You don't have a car. 30 years, you don't have a car. Well, when are you going to drive a car? Is it when you are 100? These days, people no longer last longer. The way our parents used to last. 50 people are dying now. 60 people are dying. So is it you are 40 already, no car. 45, you've never owned a car before. Maybe you drive it in the grave. That is why I said make money on time. I introduced a business for the past 2 days now. People are looking at it. It takes only a man that has seen money to tell you how to make money. And not every rich man will tell you their source. I came because I saw you guys as my responsibility. You cannot be following me and you are poor. You cannot be following me and your life is remaining stagnant. That means I'm not a blessing to you. The thing that has given me is sent. Is the thing I have come here to tell you that this is what is helping me. This is what has given me wealth. I've seen money. How did I get the money? YouTube Faceless channel. That is the secret. Get few viral videos that will go viral. My sister, your case is settled. Do you understand this? If a particular video makes you $100,000, at least that particular money can stand your life if you are wise. I told you, you must not do it through me. I brought the secret, I brought the idea here. What you're supposed to do, go and do a research. Look for somebody that will teach you. Look for videos where you can learn it. But if you want me to take you by hand, I told you it's going to cost you $500. It might sound too big for your ear, but $500 will not be enough to open a salon. $500 will not be enough to open any business. But I'm telling you, I can help you do it. And then you become financially stable. Or you think I'm just talking. Or you think I'm looking for your money. Now, what is the $500 for? In that particular YouTube Faceless YouTube channel, you need 3 softwares, AI softwares, that will cost almost that $500. And those are the things I will hand over to you. I will buy them and I will give it to you. Or you can even go and buy them and bring them and I will educate you. I charge as much as $10,000. If a guy approaches me that does teach me what you are doing, I charge $10,000 for that. Now I'm telling you, go and bring $500. Let me help you. After today, you won't hear this from me again. After today, you won't hear it from me again. You have money sitting in your account. No, you are not. You can't invest it well. A $500 that is well invested today will save you tomorrow. What you need, that I'm sure of, is a YouTube Faceless channel. Post viral videos. Let them go viral. And your life is settled. My DM is open. This is the last time I'm going to talk about it. Have a beautiful weekend.
7 things you should never do for a man, even if you are madly in love with him. I get it. You love him. You don't want to lose him. He might have promised you marriage. Maybe you've already pictured your life together. But before you go all in, let me share this truth. There are 7 things you should never do for a man, no matter how deep your love runs. Many women who ignored these warnings are now living in regret. Some divorced, some single mothers with no support system, some still trying to pick up the pieces. Please listen to this to the end before making that same mistake. 1. Don't give up your dreams and ambition for a man. A young lady once told me about how she fell in love with a man living overseas. It started as a long-distance relationship. He promised her the world, said he would marry her if she came over. She left everything behind, her education, her goals, even her family. She sold what she had, prepared her documents, and traveled to be with him. A few months later, he told her he was no longer interested. She was deported, broke, heartbroken, and without a clear path forward. She couldn't return to school, she had no job, no backup plan. Nothing. Just pain and regrets. Ladies, please listen. If a relationship demands that you abandon your education, your career, or your calling in life, it's not the right one for you. A man should build you, not break you. He should elevate your purpose, not silence it. Never give up your life just to be in his. 2. Taking up the wifely role even as a girlfriend. Too many women start acting like wives to men who haven't even proposed. You're cooking, cleaning, washing his clothes, running errands, even giving your body like it's already a marriage. And yet, there's no ring. I'm not saying don't help out. If he's sick or you're spending quality time together, fine. But if you're doing these things every time you visit, or worse, living with him without commitment, that's not love, that's desperation. You're teaching him to enjoy the benefits of a wife without giving you the title. Please, don't settle. Value yourself more than that. 3. Don't buy any properties with a man's name. Whether you're married or not, be wise. If you're the one paying for something, property, a car, land, make sure your name is on the documents. One woman came to me in tears. She had bought several properties in her husband's name out of trust and love. When the marriage crashed, he sold everything and the law backed him, because the papers were all in his name. Now, she's homeless while he lives comfortably with another woman. You can love someone and still protect yourself. Marriage is not a license to lose your identity or financial independence. Talk about these things during courtship, and never let love blind you to reality. 4. Don't hurt someone because of your man. Another woman told me how her boyfriend asked her to cut ties with her male friends. Out of love, she blocked everyone, even people who genuinely cared for her. Well, the relationship ended. And guess what? She was left completely alone. She had to go back and apologize to those friends she pushed away. Don't burn bridges for a man. If he has insecurity issues, he should work on them. As long as you're respectful and honest, you have every right to maintain healthy friendships. True love doesn't isolate. It empowers. 5. Don't have a child outside wedlock. It's becoming more common. Men saying, "Get pregnant first, then I'll marry you." Please don't fall for that trap. A single mom once told me her story. She had 2 children by 2 different men, both of whom promised marriage. The first one never followed through, and the second disappeared after claiming his family didn't approve of her. Now she's raising 2 kids on her own with no support. Don't let anyone pressure you into motherhood to secure commitment. Raising a child alone is tough, and no man is worth gambling your entire future over a maybe. 6. Don't lower your standard against your wish. If you've told yourself you won't date a smoker, an addict, or a man who disrespects women, stick to it. I don't care how charming he is or how much you connect. If he doesn't align with the kind of future you want, don't try to fix him. Marriage won't change him. You don't marry potential, you marry patterns. And if the pattern is toxic, walk away. It's better to wait than to settle. 7. Never commit suicide because of a man. I know heartbreak can feel unbearable. I know the pain of betrayal, of rejection, of seeing someone you gave your heart to walk away. But please hear me. No man is worth your life. You are more than a relationship. If he leaves, let him go. Cry if you must, but don't lose yourself in grief. Better days are coming, and sometimes when something leaves your life, it's only making space for something far greater. Love doesn't mean losing yourself. Don't give away your future, your values, or your peace just to keep a man. The right man won't demand that sacrifice. He'll protect your growth, your dreams, and your...
Alright ladies, so today, let's discuss 9 things that a woman should never do for a man. You see, every month I get to coach some of you about dating, relationships, and self-love, and I always notice certain things that you do, okay, for someone that you care about, as a way to prove your love to him. But quite often, what you end up doing is pushing him away, being taken for granted, and destroying the attraction between you two. My name is Ismael Gomez. I'm a coach, writer, and speaker. And ladies, I want you to stop everything that you're doing right now, okay? No multitasking, no checking your phone. Give me your full attention, because I will give you some invaluable lessons that can change your love life completely. If you want to become a woman who attracts rather than chases, you need to recognize these behaviors that make men lose respect for you. Because always remember, the moment a man loses respect for you, he won't love you the same way. Okay? I'm excited for this, so let's begin. Number 1, don't become the female version of him. I've seen so many women do this, even some of them that I've dated in the past. After a few months of knowing me, suddenly my favorite movies became her favorite movies. You know, she became a soccer fan like me. She started eating the same foods that I ate. And then when the relationship ended, I saw the same girl with another guy, and now she was the biggest basketball fan because that's the sport that he liked, and also she was always watching the shows that he enjoyed. And this is part of a people-pleasing personality, okay? Some of you just become a sponge and you want to force compatibility because you think that, you know, that's the most effective way to build a wholesome relationship. And even if you get to enjoy things that he likes, don't give up on what makes you unique, because being yourself is the only way that you can be irreplaceable. Number 2, don't hide your intellect. If a man ever feels threatened by your intelligence, ladies, that's a major sign of insecurity on his part. Dumbing yourself down for a partner is a recipe for resentment, okay? Where you feel like you're settling for someone who doesn't stimulate you intellectually. And let me give you an example. Last week, I was having this coaching session with a woman, and she was around my age, mid-30s, so she asked me a question, and I gave her a simple response, you know, like 2 or 3 sentences, but I could totally see, you know, the hesitation in her eyes that she wanted to say something. So I asked, hey, you know, is there anything that you want to tell me? Don't hold back. And then she went on for 3 whole minutes breaking down why she didn't agree with the advice that I gave her. And you know what? It was actually a pretty brilliant response. And the point is that she was downplaying her intellect. So I was giving her simple responses, but once that I saw her true capabilities, we started engaging in a much deeper and more meaningful way. Number 3, don't become Mom 2.0. I know that a lot of you know this one, right? Playing mother to your partner can completely drain your energy. Constantly cleaning up after him, you know, watching over his finances, pushing him to pursue his goals. A grown man should be capable of taking care of himself. Taking on the mother role can create an unhealthy dynamic where your partner becomes overly demanding and you feel undervalued. However, let me say that this doesn't mean, ladies, that you never do anything nice for him, you know, like cooking him dinner or doing some other household tasks, because I know that some of you take this to the extreme, right? And you refuse to do any thoughtful gestures for him, fearing that you'll be taken advantage of. It's all about finding a healthy balance, you know, where both of you contribute and you feel appreciated. Number 4, don't put your dreams on hold. Compromise is key in a relationship, right? But there's a difference between compromise and sacrifice. You shouldn't have to completely give up on your personal goals and aspirations just to be with someone. And I see this problem a lot, especially young women. You know, you put your personal goals on hold to support your partner's dreams, and then you even relocate to another country because he's going to get a job that only benefits him. The right man will be your biggest cheerleader, not an obstacle to your success. Number 5, stop avoiding conflict. Here's a quote that I love that embodies this point. If you hide your pain from your partner, you may have peace in the relationship, but you'll create a war in your mind. I see so many of you afraid to disagree with your partner because you worry that it will lead to a fight and then him leaving. And here's the thing, healthy couples disagree sometimes, okay? Like, the important thing is to be able to express your opinions respectfully. A healthy partner will value your voice and want to hear what you have to say, even if you don't always see eye to eye. Nevertheless, if your partner is the type that breaks things down, starts yelling at you when there's conflict, that is not okay, ladies, alright? Don't put up with a shitty behavior. I'm sorry for my French, but it really gets to me, alright? So let's keep moving on. Number 6, don't fully rely on him financially. Financial independence isn't just about having a lot of money, beautiful, okay? It's about having control over your own life and feeling secure. Relying solely on a man for financial support can create a power imbalance in the relationship. And a lot of men will do this in a sneaky way. I've seen it over and over again. They will tell you, oh, you don't have to work, babe. You know, I'll take care of you. Why do you want to start a business? Just come work for me. You know, I'll teach you some stuff. And later, once your whole schedule revolves around him and you're accustomed to a lifestyle that he provided, he may start using finances as a weapon to control you. Number 7, don't excuse his behavior. For this one, I'm just going to show you a reel that I made on Instagram that illustrates this point. Have you ever loved a man so much that you tried to excuse his behavior while he was hurting you? Oh no, that's the way he is. He's not a liar. He was just afraid to tell me the truth. And you see, this only happens when you value someone's love more than your self-love. You're more concerned about losing him than losing yourself. Number 8, don't isolate yourself. I saw this pattern in one of my sisters. Like, every time that she was dating a new guy, she would just stop reaching out, stop hanging out with the family until she learned her lesson. And you see, this is part of practicing detachment, where your life doesn't completely revolve around this person. Like his friends are your friends. You even love his family more than yours. And I know that a lot of you have a toxic environment back home, where you grew up, but always have friends or other connections with other people that are not related to him. Number 9, avoid uncomfortable intimacy. It's really sad to see how some men guilt trip women into doing sexual activities that you're not comfortable with. It's like they use all these manipulative tactics to make you feel bad if you don't go along with all of his experiments. They will say things that make you feel like you're not a good partner if you don't do what they want in bed. Or they will downplay your feelings and make you doubt yourself and believe that you're overreacting. And sometimes, ladies, it's not that these guys are necessarily evil, right? Like I always explain this in all of my videos. It's almost a societal problem where these dudes, grew up watching a lot of porn and they have all these stereotypes that they believe what women are supposed to behave in intimacy, and that it's your duty to please all of his desires no matter how uncomfortable that makes you feel. Alright ladies, that's it for today's 9 things that a woman should never do for a man. And you know what? I'll give you a quick extra one, okay? Never send him naked selfies. And this just came to mind because I was reading the comments last week in one of the videos, and the way that technology is nowadays, like, you don't really want someone to have naked pictures of you on their phone. Trust me. If he wants to see you again with your clothes off, just tell him that you like it when he takes them off in person. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Good morning. We are on day 2. I know other people are only going to find this video today, so you're going to be on day 1, right? This challenge is absolutely for free. It's a freebie, but I think the website will charge you $1, literally $1 or 20 rands. That's the download fee, right? So I made little images on what you do every single day. So we are on day 2. And if you're seeing this video today, you're going to be on day 1, okay? How many of you actually woke up to pray? I was snoozing my phone from 12, 1, 2. I only woke up at 5. Okay, guys, it's not easy. It's not easy. You're sacrificing. But you're going to thank yourself, okay? And I just want to make a video on why exactly you're detaching, okay? You're not detaching because you hate your man. You're not detaching because you want to be sinister, or you want to be angry, or you want to be bitter, or you want to work against him. No. That is not what detachment is about. Actually, when you detach, it's more about you than him. He's just gonna benefit from this, but you're not detaching because you hate him. Okay, so today's video is about why you shouldn't be loving a man with your everything. I know I've made banter and joking videos about don't love a man, and stuff like that, but literally, guys, if you think about it logically, you shouldn't be loving a man with your everything. It does not make sense. It's not even godly, okay? Because first of all, if you're gonna love a man with your everything, and remember, that man is not God, so it's like you are setting yourself up for disappointment. And I'm not even talking about cheating here, but just your everyday life. That man can wake up and he's moody. That man can lie, or that man can hide something away from you. You're going to be so disappointed, because if you're loving a man with your everything, you are actually forcing him to become a mini god. And that does not make sense. Logically, it doesn't make sense. The only person you should be loving, or the only thing you should be loving with your everything, is God. You can't love a man with your everything. He's just human, and he will disappoint you at least once or twice. And I'm not even talking about cheating here, but he will wake up one day, he's moody. He will wake up and not tell you about those plans he has. He will wake up and not protect you from his family. He will, he's human. He's not perfect. So you're setting yourself up for disappointment, right? And also, it's not godly, because if you're loving a man with your everything, you lose yourself. That's not what God wants. God's love is balanced. You can't be loving a man with your everything, because if you're loving a man with your everything, then where's the space for your peace? Where's the space for your purpose? Where's the space for your alignment? Where's the space for your life, your dreams, your goals? So it doesn't make sense. Where's the space for your dreams? You have a purpose outside of being a wife, outside of being a mother. You have a purpose. Every single woman was born with a womb, whether you decide if you want to have kids or not, but every single woman was born with a womb. A womb is a portal to giving life. And who else gives life? That is God. So that is how important you are. You are the closest being to God. You give life. You have a portal inside of you that gives life. That is how special you are. So you can't be born just to be a wife or a mother or a baby mama or a girlfriend. It does not make sense. There is something more. There is something more you were born for, but only you can find what your purpose is. And you can't find out what your purpose is if you haven't detached. You need to be aligned. Your peace has to be aligned. That is when you're going to hear from God. That is when you're going to hear God closely. You should be partnering with God. You are the closest being that creates life, that carries a life inside of you. So you should be partnering with God. You are important. There is so much to life than just being a wife and just being a mother. You're not only birthing kids, you're also birthing ideas. You're also birthing legacies. You're also birthing purpose. You're birthing so much. It doesn't end. You're not only birthing children, okay? But today's topic is why you shouldn't love a man with your everything. It doesn't make sense. And remember, guys, our God is very jealous. So if you choose to love a man with your everything, that means you kick God out of the picture. The only thing you should be loving with your everything is God, not a man. So the minute you choose to love a man with your everything, you're actually causing him to be a competition with God. And that's also dangerous. You don't want God to be humbling you or him. So it's not even safe to love a man with your everything. You should be loving only God. God first, and then yourself, and then him. Or God first, and then him, and then yourself. But the point here is God should be the one who is in the center. Okay? You're loving a man with your everything. You've made him your oxygen. The minute he pulls away, you are dying. You can't breathe. So does that kind of love make sense? It doesn't make sense. Now you're dying. We see them every single day on social media. You're crying because you loved a man with your everything, and that was not the plan from the beginning. God will never tell you to love a man if it's gonna cause you to lose yourself. Never. God is not in that. Okay? sorry, I'm looking at, I made notes because you're my head, guys. I literally forget everything. So when I'm thinking of an idea, I need to write it down, or I will forget because I'm always thinking. Okay, so that is why I'm looking at my phone. But that kind of love will bury you, and that's a fact. And it's not because you're weak, but it's because it's not holy, it's not balanced. God didn't approve that kind of love. You were called to love, yes, but not to lose yourself, right? God should have your everything, not a man. Sometimes these men even forget your anniversaries. They forget your anniversary, but he remembers every single match, soccer match that you ever watched. So loving a man with your everything, you are setting yourself up for failure, okay? And not only are you called to love, but you're a vessel. Yes, you are a vessel that God wants to pour inside of you. But if you are still emotionally attached to somebody, if you're still centering a man, you will never hear from God. God can't use you. God wants to use you. You are a vessel, but he can't use you if you're emotionally unstable. Okay? So you were not born to revolve around a man. You should be revolving around God. And like I said, God is a jealous God. So if you're here loving a man like he died for you, you should be loving the one who died for you. That man can't even die for his ego, but you're loving him with your everything. So you see that you are the problem, not even that man. They never asked you guys to love them with your everything. You guys are the ones choosing to do that, but it's not godly. Don't do that, okay? And this whole ride or die culture, don't fall into it. You were not born to ride or die with any man. You're not a soldier. You are not a soldier. If a man doesn't love you the way you want to be loved, why are you loving him more than how he's even loving you? You are the problem, not that man. You should be matching a man's energy. If that man is loving you with his everything, then reciprocate. So you don't do things first and hope that that man is gonna do it back. No, you just wait for the leader and you watch how he loves you, and then you reciprocate and match his love. You don't love him more than he loves you. You wait and you watch, and then you see what he gives out. You know, we receive and we multiply whatever is given to us. So if he's giving you bullshit, you're gonna multiply and give him that, right? A man can't be giving you bullshit and you wanna clean it up and turn it, use all your resources that God gave you and use all your energy to change this bullshit into something good, and you're gonna give it back. You are robbing yourself. You are playing yourself. And God is not in it. Stop calling God there. If it's costing you, if that love is costing you your whole identity, God is not in it. If that love is costing you to lose yourself, God is not in it. You're not a soldier. You are not called to ride or die with any man. You're not a soldier. Yeah? You're God's daughter. You're supposed to be living soft. You're supposed to be at peace. Whether a man pulls or withdraws, you shouldn't even be noticing. That's why you need to detach.
When I got married to him, I, was in love. Like, I wanted to please him. I would hide stuff that he would say or truths that I would find out about him from my family because I didn't want them not to like him. So long story short, I ended up building his credit. He had no credit. I ended up giving him a green card. He lied about his status. I ended up buying him, I think by the time we were done, he had charged up $150,000, if not more, on my credit cards. I bought him a condo. Well, we lived in my condo. I was paying for all the furniture in that condo was furnished by me. He used to only wear designer clothes. You guessed it. I bought all of that. When I got pregnant, he was very upset. He wanted me to get an abortion, and he made me sleep on the floor of the condo that I was paying for on the luxurious bedroom set that I had bought. And I was just so dumb that I didn't get it. Like, this is the time that I was, I had my real estate business, I was flipping properties, and then he would go around town telling everyone that those were his properties. The Lexus that I bought him, the $60,000 Lexus, he was driving other women, girls that worked at like Marshall Fields and like the Guest store, driving them around in the Lexus that I bought him. I remember this one time he was in my real estate office and he was sitting behind the desk looking like a king, and someone walked in and was confused because that was my office, and they're like, Mina, isn't this your office? Like, who is this? And I started to answer, and he told me to shut up. In front of my colleague, he told me to shut up because he wanted to feel like a king sitting in my office. And that's how I spent a portion of my 20s. When I was pregnant and having his child, he was out dating other women and taking them to the club. Women that had no qualification that he could be the king to, that he could be the provider for. So he was taking the money that I was giving him and spending the money on women that he could feel the king with, because I couldn't give that to him. And of course, it was a really devastating process to get that divorce. It was really sad for my son, because I remember just saying to him, like, I get that you don't love me. Like, I get it. I see it. But how could you not love your own child? And he said, that child is like trash to me. It's like a child off the street. Like, go on there with your child. I told you I didn't want this child. And later on, when we got divorced, I found out from some, joint friends or whatever, that he had gone back home to his country and married someone who didn't have a job, who wasn't very educated, who then he could give a green card to, who he could buy a Lexus for, who he can give money to, and who was going to let him be the king. Because you see, he couldn't be a king or a provider with me. I was the woman that helped build him up for another woman. And I'm sharing this very embarrassing story, highly intimate story and personal story with you guys. I'm here to tell you that this whole myth of the independent woman is bullshit. I am more of an independent woman now, being a stay-at-home mom where my husband is the full-on provider, than I ever was trying to be the independent, educated, all that stuff, right? I'm not saying education is wrong. Like, I got my education. I'm still getting my education as much as I can. I want my kids to have their education. But if that's what you're leading for, I'm sorry, you're a slave girl. You are not an independent woman. And at the end of the day, when I really look back, I feel sorry for him, because at the end of the day, he was with a woman that was consistently and constantly emasculating him. I remember, like, when he would be with his friends and he would say things like, oh yeah, I bought a Lexus. And I would be like, excuse me, you mean I bought you a Lexus? And when he would lie and tell people, yeah, we've got a real estate business, I would say, excuse me, you mean Mina has a real estate business? We bought a new condo. Excuse me, you mean Mina bought a new condo? That's what Mina did. There's no we here. You didn't contribute anything. And that, I'm sure, emasculated him, right? It made him feel worthless. But he didn't know this, that he really needed that until, or maybe he did. Maybe that was part of his plan. But at the end of the day, I failed as a wife to give him the experience that he needed to fall in love with me. Because the experience that we need to fall in love is very different than what a man needs. You know, my grandmother used to say this, and I feel like I need to say this to you guys. She used to say that it takes decades for a woman to fall in love with a man. So if you are leading with love, you're already lost, because in all of the animal kingdom, and yes, we are just slightly evolved parts of that, right? In all of the animal kingdom, the man lures the woman in, showing her how many bugs he can catch if he's a bird, right? Providing. And then the woman picks what she wants. And I know that after that whole experience, when that switch flipped for me, there was nothing a man could say to me or do to me that was going to put me back into that situation. Never. I knew that that was never going to happen to me, and that is not what was going to happen to my children either, because I was going to teach them better.
Here are 3 things you should never do for a man, otherwise you will regret it. Number 1, never borrow a man money. A man you are in an intimate relationship with, never borrow him money. Even if you think you earn more than him, or both of you know you earn more than him, don't borrow him money. Give a man money you are willing to lose. The moment you introduce money into your relationship with a man, that relationship is headed for destruction. It is not going to last. Never ever borrow a man money. Number 2, never sign any form of documents as guarantor or to stand in for a man to borrow money or to get a job or for a contract or anything. Never stand in as a guarantor for a man. Research has shown that men are more prone to financial crimes. There is a reason for that. If you sign any document as guarantor for a man that is in fact not your husband, but a boyfriend or fiancé or baby daddy or whatever, any trouble that man gets into, you will be arrested for it. And who knows, by that time you and him, you might have broken up. He has moved on with his life, he has remarried with children, and then you be the one to get blamed or arrested or to go to jail for that crime. Never stand in as guarantor for any man. And lastly, do not involve business in your relationship. Never assume that, okay, we are one, since we are getting married tomorrow, let's do this business together. After all, his money is my money is his money. Are you aware that even in marriage, there is nothing like Mr. and Mrs. Nwosu? There is nothing like that. In documents, you will have Mrs. Felicia Nwosu and Mr. Femi Adebayo. So never assume the fact that if you do business with this man, it is going to be yours. Treat every business transaction legally and officially with a man, especially if he's not your husband. Even if he's your husband, you can still divorce him tomorrow. So be warned.